Another one that can help you sell tickets, big stars. Okay. Could they be signing some big stars? Well, they're losing big stars. They're losing Jordan Grace. Speedball's already gone off the roster page. Josh Alexander, very likely gone. According to his comments, this could be a negotiation tactic, but his comments that he made on that Chris Van Vliet show, everything he says about doing everything that there is to do in TNA tells me that he's out. That just screams that he's out to me. He seems pretty apathetic to the product and to the company as a whole. And it has seemed that way since Scott D'Amore left. Right. And I think right now he's doing everything he can to get Steve Maclin over because they're friends and he's working really hard. He did a great job of finding a resolution. I think the blow off for that, spoiler, my opinion is my prediction, the blow off for the whole thing is going to be a Genesis. That's the way I would do it. So, and then that's probably where he leaves the company, Genesis, right? Maybe they keep him around to San Antonio, but I think he's out after that. Okay. So then what do? Pentagon seems to be available. Now, everybody believes that he's WWE bound. Could they sneak their way in there and maybe get Pentagon in for like an 8-month period? I don't know. I don't think it's that crazy of an idea. I think WWE wants Pentagon, to get back at AEW. They don't really do anything with their luchadors. They put them all together in the same faction and they just wrestle each other. The only luchador that they've ever really respected, like a true luchador, a masked luchador, was Rey Mysterio and still is Rey Mysterio. But he also speaks perfect English, can cut really good promos, and is a larger than life character. Pentagon is larger than life character, but he doesn't speak English, and he's a little bit beat up. I think that they wanted the Lucha Bros act from AEW on their show. I think that's what they wanted. Okay. Now Rey Fénix is going to be sticking around AEW probably through the end of 2025. There's no exact date on there, but let's just say through the end of 2025. That kind of puts Pentagon in limbo. Could they bring over Pentagon? I think I don't think that's a crazy idea. He was there before. He's the former TNA champion. I think that they could do a deal with him to keep him around for a while. And before he heads off over to WWE by the time Rey Fénix's contract expires. Okay, so Pentagon is one person. Okay. And he's not a significant draw. And he's not really going to do much for the UBS arena. He will help, but he won't do much for the UBS arena. Io says, ironically, they're going to El Paso. Penta would help with the Spanish fan base. 100%. Yeah. 100%. He would. There's also a big Spanish fan base in New York. And I think Lucha Libre does pretty decent in New York. So could he be one of the guys? Yes. Also, there's, Miro has been tossed out there recently. And he's definitely a star. He's a pretty famous guy. I don't think he's ever been a ticket seller, to be honest with you. Could he help? Yeah, he could help, but I don't know that does much to fill those venues. If you're talking about filling up a place like the UBS arena, there's only the only types of people that are going to fill that place up are like John Cena, Roman Reigns. It's that's what we're talking about. So you would really, really have to have a major drawing card come into the company to be able to do something like that. That's why I'm like, I hope that they have an agreement in place with WWE to bring in AJ Styles, because I think that's the only way that you're going to get 8,000 to 10,000 people in there. And even then, I think that's a stretch. But yeah, man, this is a wild time. I'll be honest, I'm a bit proud of them, but now I'm kind of nervous for them because I just hope that they don't lose their ass and embarrass themselves. Billy's asked, what's the largest crowd in TNA history? I think they did like 8,000 or 9,000 in Wembley Arena one year in the UK, and then in the States, I think they did close to 7,000 8,000 for Lockdown 2013. So I think that Lockdown 2013 was the biggest crowd that they've ever done stateside. And then, but they had surpassed it whenever they went to the UK and they did a big crowd. Now somebody can correct me and probably look that up. I don't really have all the information, but like off the top of my head, like those are the two biggest. Billy also says the only company drawing numbers is WWE. NXT doesn't draw either. See tonight's pay-per-view. There must be WWE main roster stars on the show. Yeah. So that was one of the points that Dave Meltzer made in the newsletter, was that everybody outside of WWE is drawing like shit. But I have to correct them. TNA's numbers are up. Everybody else's drawing numbers outside of WWE are down. TNA is actually going up. Right. They in Fayetteville, I don't think we ever got a tally of how many people were there, but like Lucha was there and he's like, bro, there's like at least over 1,000 people there both nights, which I think a year ago in Fayetteville at the same time, they probably would have done 400 to 500. So yeah, nobody's really drawing big numbers outside of WWE. So again, that's why I'm like, this is fucking wild that they're doing this, but they must have some information that we don't have that gives them the confidence to be able to do this. How about Brian Meyer starts promoting like PCO? He's a Long Island guy. Well, yeah, you want to get Brian out there, and he also has a wrestling school out there and gets selling tickets and all that stuff. So, yeah. So, yeah, we'll put a bow on that. It's crazy. It is wild. I'm happy for them, proud of them. But we will see how the whole thing works out. Real quick, we didn't really get any star ratings for Final Resolution other than Steve Macklin and Josh Alexander. He said they were having a 4.25 match, but the bad production and the miking of the crowd made didn't do much for it. It could have been hot. It could have been better had it been had the production been better and had you were able to hear the crowd. And I agree. 4.25. That's probably pretty fair. But that was really the only one that he had rated. So there you go. All right, next top story. And I'm interested to see what people think of this. It's been announced that the main event for Final Resolution is going to be Nick Nemeth versus one AJ Francis. Yes, Nick Nemeth versus one AJ Francis. I have thoughts. Probably the weakest main event that they've had all year. AJ, so, and I know everybody's gonna want me to just shit all over AJ, and I'm not gonna do that. Because hold on, Billy corrected me. 3.5 stars for Masha and Jordan. I rated that higher than him. I would have given that like 4.